Ada's back hit the cold window, the glass rattling 30 floors above the city. Seoul glittered below like broken stars, but she wasn't looking outside. She was looking at him. Kang Taejun stood too close, close enough to feel the heat of him, close enough to hear the way he caught his breath whenever she met his eyes. His hand hovered near her shoulder, not touching, just trembling in the space between them. "Tell me to stop," he whispered, voice low, strained, unsafe. She didn't. Couldn't. Her fingers gripped the front of his shirt, pulling him closer even though they both knew they shouldn't be this close. "Say it, Ada. Tell me this isn't what you want." But her silence said everything. For 3 months they had circled each other, late-night kitchen conversations, accidental touches, long stares that lasted 1 second too long. A dangerous rhythm neither of them could escape. "This is wrong," he breathed. "You work for me. My girlfriend will destroy you. Management will destroy me. If anyone sees us like this, then why are you still here?" she whispered. His mask cracked. The perfect idle expression he wore for the world fell apart, leaving only the real man underneath. Conflicted, exhausted, helplessly drawn to her. "You make it impossible to stay away." A single step, a single breath. Their faces were inches apart, fire and fear, desire and danger blending into something neither had words for. "If we cross this line," he said softly, "everything changes." "I know. You could lose everything." "I already have." Before he could answer, the door creaked. They turned. Sumin stood there, phone raised, recording. "I knew it," she hissed. "Got the proof I needed." The smile she gave them wasn't anger. It was war. And with that, Ada realized she hadn't just stepped into danger, she'd stepped into destruction. A scandal, a betrayal, a forbidden moment caught on camera. And the beginning of a storm that would remake both their lives. Because 3 months earlier, none of this existed. But the universe had other plans. Dark, complicated, beautiful plans. And this was how it all began. Hit that subscribe button, because what happens next is going to tear them apart before it brings them back together. And the journey? It's going to be brutal. 2 weeks earlier, Jiwon was standing in Club Velvet, watching Taejun pretend he didn't see her. The bass pounded through her chest like a second heartbeat. She'd dressed for war, red dress, red lips, red nails, everything calculated to make him remember why he used to look at her like she was oxygen. Used to. Past tense. The problem with loving someone famous is that you're never alone with them. Even now in the VIP section behind bulletproof glass and velvet ropes, they were surrounded. His manager, his bodyguards, his current girlfriend, Somin, draped across his lap like expensive jewelry he was tired of wearing. Jiwon waited until Somin went to the bathroom, moved fast, slid into the booth before anyone could stop her. "Hello, Taejun." He looked at her the way you look at a bill you forgot to pay. Annoyed, resigned. "Jiwon, you're not supposed to be here." "I'm not supposed to be a lot of places. That's never stopped me before." She leaned closer, close enough to smell his cologne, close enough to remember. "We need to talk." "We have nothing to talk about." "I'm pregnant." The words hung in the air like smoke. His expression didn't change, didn't even twitch. That's how she knew he didn't believe her. "No, you're not." "Yes, I am. 3 months. Yours." His manager materialized like a well-dressed demon. "Miss Jiwon, you need to leave now or we'll have security remove you." She ignored him, kept her eyes on Taejun. "Look at me. Really look at me. And tell me I'm lying." He looked. For 5 seconds that felt like 5 years. Then he said the words that would haunt her. "Even if you are pregnant, it's not mine. We haven't touched each other in over a year. So whatever game you're playing, I'm not interested." The shame hit like a physical blow. Because he was right. They hadn't. And everyone in this booth knew it. Her lie was exposed before it even had time to breathe. She stood up, smiled. because that's what you do when you're dying inside and refuse to give them the satisfaction. You're right. My mistake. Wrong father. She walked out with her head high and her heart in pieces. Behind her, she heard Taejun's manager say, "Should we be worried about her?" And Taejun's response, "No, she's just desperate. Desperate people make noise, then they disappear." But he was wrong. Jiwon wasn't going to disappear. She was going to burn his world down. She just needed to figure out how. Outside Club Velvet, the Seoul night was cold enough to hurt. Jiwon stood on the sidewalk shaking, from cold, from humiliation, from rage she had nowhere to put. Her phone buzzed. A message from her mother. "Did you talk to him? What did he say?" She didn't respond. Couldn't. Because what could she say? That the man she'd destroyed her reputation for, the man she'd waited 3 years for, the man she'd built her entire identity around, had just called her a liar in front of witnesses. That she'd actually tried to fake a pregnancy like some desperate character in a bad drama. She was that character now. Her phone buzzed again. Different number. Unknown. "I saw what happened at the club. I can help you, if you're interested in making him pay." Jiwon stared at the message, deleted it, then immediately regretted deleting it because desperation makes you stupid, and she was very, very desperate. She started walking. No destination, just movement. That's when she passed the small restaurant with the help wanted sign. Ironic, she thought. Everyone's looking for help. Nobody's offering it. Meanwhile, across the city in Itaewon, Ada Okonkwo was having the worst night of her life, which was saying something because she'd had some terrible nights. Her landlord, Mr. Cho, was standing in her doorway at 11 p.m., smiling the smile that made her skin crawl. "Ada C, we need to discuss your situation. I know I'm late on rent. I'll have it next week, I promise. You promised that last month, and the month before." He stepped inside without being invited. She backed up. "But I'm a reasonable man. We can work something out." "What kind of something?" He closed the door behind him, locked it. That's when Ada understood exactly what kind of something he meant. And that's when she made a decision that would change everything. "Get out." "Excuse me. I said get out now, or I start screaming and don't stop until police arrive." His smile vanished. "You little... Out!" She grabbed the knife from her kitchen counter, held it steady even though her hands were shaking. "I will cut you. I swear to God I will cut you. Get out of my home." For a moment he looked like he might call her bluff. Then he saw her eyes and realized it wasn't a bluff. "You have 3 days, then I'm changing the locks, and I'm keeping your deposit for emotional damages." He left, slamming the door hard enough to rattle the walls. Ada locked the door, chained it, pushed her dresser against it, then sat on the floor and didn't cry because crying was a luxury she couldn't afford. Her phone lit up. Message from her friend, Yemi. "Emergency job posting. Private chef for elite household. 20 million won per month. Interview tomorrow 9 a.m. I already sent your info. You're welcome." 20 million won. That was more than she made in 4 months at the restaurant. That was rent for a year. That was freedom. "What's the catch?" she typed back. "Rich people are crazy, but you're crazier. You'll be fine." Ada looked around her tiny apartment, at the water stain on the ceiling that looked like a screaming face, at the bills stacked like a tower of shame, at the knife still in her hand. She was going to that interview, and she was going to get that job, even if it killed her. If you're feeling Ada's desperation right now, drop a comment. Let me know you're here. Because this story is about to get so much darker before it gets light. The address Yemi sent was in Gangnam. Of course it was. Where else would crazy rich people live? Ada took 3 buses because she couldn't afford a taxi. Arrived at the gates at 8:45. The mansion wasn't visible from the street, just massive black iron gates with security cameras that probably cost more than her annual salary. She pressed the intercom, waited, pressed again. "Name and business." The voice sounded like it had never smiled in its life. Ada Okonkwo. I have an interview for the chef position. Silence. Long enough that she thought they'd disconnected. You're not on today's schedule. Please. I was referred by an agency. I need this job. Not on the schedule means not approved. Leave the premises. Panic clawed up her throat. This was her one chance, her only chance. Listen to me very carefully, Ada said, voice steady even though everything inside her was screaming. If you don't let me interview, your employer is going to spend the rest of their life wondering about the chef they never met. The one who could have been the best decision they ever made. Tell them that. Tell them Ada is here. And if they still say no, I'll leave. But at least give them the choice. More silence. Then, wait there. The gates swung open. Ada walked up a driveway that was longer than her entire street back in Lagos. Gardens stretched out on both sides, perfectly manicured, artificially perfect. Everything was too controlled, too clean, like a museum pretending to be a home. An old man in a perfect suit waited at the entrance. 70, maybe older, with eyes that had seen everything twice. I am Mr. Bay, head of house staff. You have 5 minutes to convince me you're not wasting my time. I won't waste even 1 minute. I can cook better than anyone you'll interview today. And I need this job more than anyone who'll walk through those gates. Confidence or desperation? Both. The best chefs have both. Something flickered in his expression. Not quite a smile. Maybe respect. Follow me. Touch nothing. Speak only when addressed. If you see Mr. Kang, maintain respectful distance. They walked through halls that seemed designed to remind you how small you were. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, art that probably cost more than her entire neighborhood. As they passed a window, Mr. Bay paused. Look, but don't let him see you. Ada peered through glass into what looked like a private gym. And there he was, Kang Taejun. She'd seen his face everywhere. Billboards, TV, magazine covers at the convenience store, Korea's golden boy, perfect smile, perfect life, perfect lie. But perfect wasn't the word for what she saw now. He was shirtless, attacking a punching bag like it had personally offended him. Sweat traced muscles that looked carved from marble. Tattoos covered his ribs, designs she'd never seen in his public photos. And scars. Old ones that told stories his smile never would. He moved like violence contained in skin. Beautiful and terrifying and absolutely not someone you wanted to anger. He stopped, turned his head. Their eyes met through the glass. Ada's breath caught. His expression didn't change, didn't soften or harden. He just looked at her like she was an equation he couldn't solve, then dismissed her with a glance and went back to destroying the punching bag. He saw you, Mr. Bay said quietly. Now he'll remember you. In this house, that's either very good or very bad. Usually both. The study was designed for intimidation. Dark wood, floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, a desk that could double as a dining table. And behind it, Kang Taejun. He was dressed now. Black shirt, sleeves rolled to show those tattoos. He didn't look up when she entered. Sit. Ada sat. The chair was lower than his, deliberately. He reviewed her resume. 1 page of nothing impressive. No formal culinary training, no references from established restaurants, no professional network. He looked up, eyes like black ice. Why are you here? Because I can cook, and you need someone who can. I need someone qualified. Qualification is just paper. Talent is proof. Let me prove it. Why should I? Because you're bored of people who tell you what you want to hear. You want someone who tells the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. His eyes narrowed. And what truth do you have for me? That everyone in your life is performing for you, your staff, your friends, your girlfriend. They're all playing roles in your movie. But I don't know the script, which means I'm the only real person you'll talk to today. Silence. Heavy and dangerous. Then, you're Nigerian? Yes. How long in Seoul? 6 years. Korean level. Fluent. Also English, Yoruba, and conversational Japanese. Family? Dead. Next question. His eyebrow raised. First sign of genuine reaction. You're direct. You're paying for a chef, not a therapist. Do you want someone who wastes time on pleasantries, or someone who feeds you properly? He stood, walked around the desk, circled her chair slowly. She forced herself not to turn around. Look at me, he said from behind her. She turned. He was close, too close. She could smell his cologne. Expensive, subtle, dangerous. Why do you need this job? Because I'm about to be homeless. Because my landlord tried to sexually assault me last night and I pulled a knife on him. Because I've been fired from 4 restaurants for being difficult, which is code for not tolerating harassment. Because I'm tired of being invisible while being too visible. Because... Stop. He held up a hand. Cook something. Now. If it's mediocre, you leave immediately. If it's exceptional, we'll talk terms. You have 1 hour. The kitchen was a temple to precision. Professional equipment, perfect organization, everything exactly where it should be. Ada tied her apron, closed her eyes. Let her mother's voice fill her head. Her mother who used to cook jollof rice every Sunday. Her mother who died when Ada was 12. Her mother who said, "Food is love made visible." She opened her eyes, started cooking. 60 minutes later, she placed 3 dishes in front of him. Jollof rice with gochugaru fusion, Nigerian soul meets Korean heat, grilled mackerel with suya spice, kimchi with palm oil and fermentation techniques that took her 3 years to perfect. Taejun stared at the plates, picked up chopsticks, took a bite of the rice. His eyes closed. He chewed slowly, swallowed, opened his eyes. Who taught you to cook like this? My mother, before she died. He took another bite, then another, finished everything without speaking. When he was done, he set down his chopsticks with surgical precision. You start tomorrow, 6 a.m. Salary is 20 million won monthly. Rules. Don't speak unless I address you. Don't enter the 3rd floor, my private quarters. Don't discuss my personal life with anyone. Don't speak to media ever. Break any rule and you're terminated immediately, understand? Yes. Good. Mr. Bay will show you to your quarters. They're attached to the kitchen wing. Don't leave that area after 10 p.m. He stood to leave, stopped at the door. One more thing. Don't mistake my hiring you for kindness. I hired you because you're useful. Stay useful. Then he was gone. Ada exhaled. She'd done it. She'd actually done it. Mr. Bay appeared like a shadow. Your room is this way. I'll show you around. And Miss Ada? Yes? Be careful in this house. It's easy to forget that beautiful cages are still cages. Guys, can we take a moment? If you're hooked right now, hit that like button. Share this with someone who loves dark romance. Because we're just getting started. Ada's room was small but clean. A bed, a dresser, a window overlooking the garden. Luxury compared to her apartment. She was unpacking when the door opened. No knock, just opened. A woman stood there, mid-20s, surgically perfect face, expensive clothes, and eyes that could cut glass. So you're the new help, Ada continued unpacking. I'm the new chef. You are. Somin, Taejun's girlfriend, and the person who actually runs this house. Congratulations on both achievements. Somin's smile was razor-sharp. I like you. You're going to be fun to break. I'm not breakable. Everyone's breakable, some just take longer. She walked in uninvited, touching Ada's belongings. Let me explain how things work here. Taejun is mine. Has been for 2 years. Every woman who enters this house thinks she's special. Thinks she'll be the one who cracks the ice prince. They're all wrong. They all leave. Usually crying. I'm here to cook, not compete. That's what they all say. Somin picked up Ada's photo, the only one she had of her parents. Who are these people? My parents. Please put that down. Instead, Somin looked closer. They're very dark. Is this what you look like naturally? I thought maybe it was lighting. Ada's jaw tightened. Put it down. And your hair. It's so big. Wild. Does Taejun know you're going to show up looking like this? He has standards, you know. Ada crossed the room in 3 steps, took the photo from Somin's hands. Not roughly, but firmly. My parents are dead. That photo is all I have left. Touch my things again and we'll have a problem that your boyfriend's money can't solve. Sumin's smile widened. Oh, you do have a spine. Good. Breaking you will be so much more satisfying. Are we done here? For now. But Ada, I'm going to be watching you. Every single day. And the moment you step out of line, the moment you look at him wrong, the moment you forget your place, I'll destroy you. I have that power here. Remember that. She left. The door clicked shut with ominous finality. Ada sat on her bed, looked at her parents' photo, her father's wide smile, her mother's kind eyes. What did I get myself into? She whispered. But she already knew. She'd walked into a war zone, and the battle had just begun. That night, Ada couldn't sleep. The house was too quiet, that kind of quiet where you hear every sound amplified, every creak, every whisper, every ghost. At 2 a.m., she gave up, went to the kitchen for water. The kitchen was dark except for city lights filtering through massive windows. She turned on one small light, poured water, was drinking when she heard, "You can't sleep either." She nearly dropped the glass, turned to find Taejun sitting in the breakfast nook, invisible until now, a bottle of whiskey in front of him, half empty, or half full, depending on your optimism level. "I'm sorry, I didn't know you were here. I'll leave. Stay. I'm tired of people leaving when I enter rooms. It's like being a ghost in my own house." Ada hesitated, remembered the rules, don't speak unless addressed. But he'd addressed her. She sat, kept distance between them. "Can't sleep or won't sleep?" she asked. "Both. Neither. Does it matter?" Insomnia's easier to fix than nightmares. He looked at her properly for the first time. Really looked. "Which one do you have?" "Nightmares. You?" "I don't sleep enough to dream." They sat in comfortable silence. Ada sipped her water. Taejun sipped his whiskey. "Your food," he said finally. "It tasted like home. I haven't tasted that in years." "What does home taste like for you?" "My grandmother's kitchen. Before the industry. Before the fame. Before I became Kang Taejun. The product, instead of just Taejun. The person." "You can be both." "No, you can't. This industry doesn't allow both. You're either the image or you're nothing." "That sounds lonely," he laughed, dark and bitter. "Loneliness is my only honest relationship. Everything else is performance." "Including Somin?" His eyes sharpened. "What did she say to you?" "That you're hers, that I should remember my place, the usual territorial marking." "Somin is—" He paused, chose words carefully. "Necessary. For my image, my management arranged it. We play the role of couple for cameras. Behind closed doors, we barely speak." "That sounds exhausting." "You have no idea." Another silence, this one heavier. "I saw Somin destroy your room earlier," Taejun said. "The cameras caught it. She tore your clothes, broke your things, wrote that message on your pillow." Ada's stomach dropped. "You saw that?" "I see everything in this house. I did nothing to stop it. Want to know why?" "Not particularly." "Because I wanted to see how you'd react. If you'd cry, if you'd quit, if you'd come running to me for protection. And you cleaned up, put yourself back together, slept with a knife under your pillow. No tears, no complaints. That tells me everything I need to know about you." "Which is?" "That you're a survivor, like me. We recognize our own." He stood, walked to where she sat, looked down at her with an expression she couldn't read. "This house is going to test you, Ada. My girlfriend will make your life hell. The staff will gossip. The pressure will build. Most people break within a month. Are you going to break?" She stood, met his eyes. "I've survived worse than a mansion full of rich people problems. Your girlfriend's tantrums are nothing compared to Lagos streets after dark. I'm not breakable, Mr. Kang. I'm already broken. And broken things are dangerous because we have nothing left to lose. Something flickered in his expression. Respect, interest, hunger. Call me Taejun, when it's just us, when it's dark. Good night, Taejun. Good night, Ada. She left. Behind her, Taejun poured another drink and smiled for the first time in months. 1 week later, the nightmares came. Ada dreamed of the accident. Always the accident. The car flipping, her mother's scream, her father's hand reaching for her. The moment everything ended and nothing would ever be the same. She woke up screaming, but she wasn't in her bed. She was standing in a hallway she'd never seen before. 3rd floor, the forbidden floor. In front of a door that was slightly open. Sleepwalking. God, not again. She turned to leave. Ada? She froze. Taejun's voice from inside the room. I'm so sorry. I was sleepwalking. I'll leave right now. Come here. It wasn't a request. She pushed the door open, entered his bedroom. It was massive, floor-to-ceiling windows, a bed that could sleep 6. And Taejun, standing by the windows, shirtless, looking out at Seoul like it was a problem he was trying to solve. You were crying in your sleep, he said without turning around. I heard you from down the hall, screaming, then silence, then footsteps. I have nightmares. Sometimes I sleepwalk during them. I'm sorry. What are you running from? In your dreams? The past. Vague. My parents died in front of me. Car accident. I was 12. I watched them die and couldn't do anything. It replays every night. Same scene. Same ending. No matter how many times I dream it, I can't save them. He turned. His face was softer than she'd ever seen it. I dream about my father. He sold me to my entertainment company when I was 17, needed money to pay gambling debts. I watched him sign the contract, watched him take the money, watched him leave without looking back, and every night I dream about following him out that door. But I never do. I just stand there, again and again, always making the same choice. We're both trapped in our worst moments. Yes, he walked toward her. Each step deliberate, stopped close enough that she could feel the heat from his skin. You should leave, he said. I should. This is inappropriate. Very. If anyone finds out you were here, I know. Neither moved. His hand came up, touched her face, thumb tracing her cheekbone. I haven't felt anything real in 3 years, he whispered. Not until you walked into my study and called me out for being surrounded by performers. Everyone in my life wants something. Everyone's playing a role. But you're just brutally, inconveniently honest. Is that a compliment? It's a warning, because I'm starting to need that honesty, and that's dangerous. His thumb traced her bottom lip, her breath caught. Taejun, tell me to stop. I can't. Tell me this is wrong. It is. Tell me you don't feel this. She grabbed his wrist, held it. I feel it. Every time you walk into a room, every time you look at me, every midnight conversation, every almost touch, I feel all of it, and it terrifies me because I need this job and I can't afford to feel anything for you. Too late, he said, and kissed her. If your heart is racing right now, leave a comment. Tell me you're feeling this tension, because it's about to explode. The kiss wasn't gentle, wasn't tentative. It was 3 years of his isolation and 6 years of her survival crashing together. His hands tangled in her hair, her natural, beautiful, defiant hair. Her hands gripped his shoulders like anchors. She tasted like honey and resilience. He tasted like whiskey and desperation. They broke apart, gasping. We can't, she said. I know. Somin will destroy me. I know. I'll lose my job. I know. This is insane. I know. He kissed her again, deeper this time, walking her backward until her back hit the window, cold glass against her spine, his heat against her front. His lips moved to her neck. She arched, grabbed his hair. Tell me to stop, he breathed against her skin. I can't. I tried. I can't. His hands moved under her shirt, her nails dragged down his back. They stumbled toward his bed. Phone. His phone lit up on the nightstand. Somin's name flashing like a warning. Reality crashed back. He pulled away, breathing hard. Read the text. She's coming. Now. She has a key. Ada's blood went cold. Why is she coming at 3 a.m.? Because she checks on me. Makes sure I'm alone. It's part of her arrangement. She needs to be able to tell media we spend nights together. Do you? Never. But the illusion matters more than truth. He grabbed Ada's hand. You need to leave. Back staircase. Now. She ran. Down the forbidden stairs. Heart hammering. Behind her she heard the front door open. Somin's voice sharp and suspicious. Why are you awake? Couldn't sleep. Why is your face flushed? Working out? At 3 a.m.? Is there a law against it? Ada made it to her room, locked the door, slid down against it, trembling. What had she done? What had they done? And why did she want to do it again? The next morning, Ada worked in silence. Prepared breakfast. Served it. Didn't make eye contact with Taejun when he came down, but when Somin wasn't looking, his hand brushed hers as she handed him coffee. The touch lasted half a second. It burned like a brand. Somin noticed. Of course she noticed. Ada, we need to talk. In private. They went to the library. Somin closed the door, turned with a smile that promised violence. I know. Ada's stomach dropped. Know what? That something happened last night, between you and Taejun. I can see it on both of you. The way he looked at you during breakfast, the way you avoided looking at him, the energy. I know. Nothing happened. Don't insult my intelligence. I've been doing this for 2 years. I know when a woman has touched my boyfriend. I'm his chef, that's all. Somin laughed, cold and cruel. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to leave. Today. Quietly. I'll give you 3 months' salary as severance. You take the money and disappear. Or, and I really hope you choose this option, you stay. And I make your life so unbearably miserable that you leave anyway, just without the money. Your choice. Ada thought about her tiny apartment, her landlord, the bills, the knife she'd pulled, the desperation that brought her here. Then she thought about Taejun's hands in her hair, his lips on her neck, the way he looked at her like she was real. I'm staying. Somin's smile widened. Perfect. I was hoping you'd say that. That night, Ada's room was destroyed again, this time worse. Clothes shredded, personal items smashed, and her parents' photo, the one thing she had left, torn in half. She found it in the trash, taped it back together with shaking hands, didn't cry because crying meant they won. At midnight, there was a knock on her door. She opened it to find Taejun standing there, fury in his eyes. Pack your things. Her heart stopped. You're firing me? No, you're moving. To the guest wing. Where there are locks Somin doesn't have keys to. Where security cameras actually work. Where you'll be safe. I can't. That'll make everything worse. I don't care. She crossed a line. Your parents' photo? That's not a warning, that's cruelty. And I won't allow it in my house. He said it with such finality that Ada couldn't argue. She moved that night. Mr. Bay helped. Didn't ask questions. Just moved her belongings to a beautiful room 3 times the size of her previous one. Somin watched from the stairs, face blank, planning. Later that night, Ada found Taejun on the rooftop. The Seoul skylines spread out like scattered diamonds. You shouldn't have done that, she said. Done what? Protected me. It shows your hand. I don't care about hands. I care about you. And that's terrifying because I haven't cared about anything real in years. Taejun. He turned to her. I'm trapped, Ada. In this life. This image. This performance. But when I'm with you, I feel like maybe there's a way out. Or at least a reason to keep fighting. What are you saying? That I'm falling for you. And it's probably going to ruin both our lives, but I'm too tired to care anymore. She kissed him, under Seoul's indifferent stars, with everything broken and nothing certain. And for a moment it was enough. But storms were gathering, because 3 days later, Ji-won returned. She arrived at the gates with a pregnancy test and a camera crew. Her plan was simple. If Taejun wouldn't see her privately, she'd force him to see her publicly. The media exploded instantly. Taejun's secret baby? K-pop stars scandal, golden boy falls. Inside the mansion, chaos reigned. His management arrived with lawyers, his PR team with statements, his agency with ultimatums. Ada watched from the kitchen as they screamed at him in his study, heard every word through walls that suddenly seemed too thin. Marry Somin immediately, claim the baby is a lie, sue for defamation. I never touched Ji-won. Everyone knows that. Truth doesn't matter. Optics matter. You need damage control. You need a perfect image. You need to fix this now. Ada listened to him being dismantled, piece by piece. His life, his choices, his autonomy, all sacrificed to the machine that made him. And she realized something terrifying. She'd fallen for a man who wasn't free, who might never be free. That night, he came to her room, exhausted, defeated, sat on her bed without asking. They want me to marry Somin. Tomorrow, a small ceremony. Announce it. Make Ji-won look like a scorned, obsessed fan. Are you going to do it? If I don't, I lose everything. My contract, my career, this house, everything I've built. Everything they've built on top of you mean? He looked at her. Really looked. Come with me. Leave this house, this life. We'll disappear. Start over. Be nobody instead of somebody fake. You're not serious. I've never been more serious. I have money saved. Enough to last years if we're careful. We could go somewhere they'd never find us. Be normal. Be free. Be us. Ada's heart was breaking and soaring simultaneously. What about your family? Your career? Everything you've worked for? I didn't work for this. This was built around me without permission, and I'm done being the foundation for other people's dreams. And me? What happens when you wake up a year from now and regret throwing your life away for a chef you barely know? He grabbed her hands. I know you. I know you tape your parents' photo back together every time someone destroys it. I know you sleep with a knife under your pillow. I know you cry silently, so no one hears. I know you cook your mother's recipes when you're sad. I know you're terrified of being invisible while simultaneously terrified of being too visible. I know you, and I choose you. Every time. This is insane. The sanest thing I've ever done. She kissed him, tasted salt, realized they were both crying. Okay, let's run. But the universe had other plans, because at that exact moment the door burst open. Somin stood there with her phone recording. Got it. All of it. The confession. The plan to run. Everything. Taejun stood. Somin, don't what? Don't show your management that you're planning to abandon your contract. Don't show the media that you're sleeping with the help while I play the loyal girlfriend. Don't protect myself. You're making a mistake. No, you made the mistake. You fell for her. You actually fell for her. I thought you were smarter than that. She looked at Ada with something like pity. He won't choose you. He can't. He's not brave enough to burn his life down. He'll choose the safe option. He always does. You don't know that, Ada said. I know him. Better than you ever will. Watch. Somin turned to Taejun. Here's the deal. Marry me tomorrow as planned. I delete this video. Your secret stays safe. Your career survives. Or don't marry me. I release this video. Your management terminates your contract. You lose everything. And Ada here loses her visa status because I'll make sure immigration knows she's working illegally. She'll be deported within a week. Ada's blood went cold. I'm not working illegally. I have proper documentation. Do you? Are you sure? Because I have friends in immigration who can find irregularities, even where none exist. She smiled, cruel and victorious. Choose, Taejun, your fake life with me, or no life at all. For both of you. The silence was crushing. Ada watched Taejun's face, watched him calculate. watched him break. Fine, he said, voice dead. I'll marry you, tomorrow, as planned. Somin's smile widened. Smart boy. See, Ada? I told you, he always chooses the safe option. She left, taking her victory and her video with her. Ada stood, numb. You chose her. I chose your safety. She'll have you deported. I don't care. I would have risked it. We could have fought and lost. You would have lost everything. I've already lost everything. My parents, my home, my country. I've survived all of it. I would have survived losing Korea too. But I can't survive you giving up. I'm not giving up. I'm protecting you. I don't need protection. I need a partner brave enough to fight with me. She grabbed her jacket, started packing. What are you doing? Leaving. I'm done being a pawn in your life. You want to marry Somin? Fine. But I won't stay and watch. Ada, please. No. You made your choice. Live with it. She walked out of the room, out of the mansion, out of his life. Behind her, Taejun collapsed against the wall, finally crying, finally breaking, finally feeling everything he'd been too afraid to feel. But feeling it too late. If you're devastated right now, drop a comment. Tell me you're broken. Because we're not done yet. Hit that subscribe button for what comes next. Ada spent the night on Yemi's couch, crying, raging, breaking. You fell for him, Yemi said. Not a question. I'm so stupid. You're not stupid, you're human. And he's a coward. He was protecting me. He was protecting himself. There's a difference. The wedding was the next day, small, private. Photos released to media showing Taejun and Somin looking perfectly happy. The narrative, childhood sweethearts finally make it official. Ada saw the photos, threw her phone across the room, screamed until her throat was raw. That night, Yemi's phone rang. Unknown number. It's for you, Yemi said, handing it over. Ada answered. Hello? It's Ji-won, the woman from the pregnancy scandal. We need to talk. They met at a cafe in Hongdae. Ji-won looked different from the photos. Smaller, sadder, real. The pregnancy was fake, Ji-won said immediately. I was desperate, stupid. I thought if I could force him to see me, he'd remember what we had. But we never had anything. I was just obsessed. Why are you telling me this? Because Somin paid me. 20 million won to make the claim, to create chaos, to force Taejun to marry her. She orchestrated everything. Ada's blood turned to ice. You're lying. I have proof. Recordings of our conversations, bank transfers, everything. And I'm going to expose her, but I need your help. Why would I help you? Because you love him. And he loves you. I saw the way he looked at you in photos, the way he never looked at me. That's real. And real deserves a chance. Ada stared at this woman who'd caused so much chaos, saw herself reflected back. Both of them desperate, both of them used. What do you need? They worked fast, compiled evidence, recordings, bank statements, text messages where Somin detailed her plan. 3 days later, they held a press conference. Ji-won confessed everything, showed the proof, named Somin as the architect of the scheme. The media exploded again, but this time in Taejun's favor. Taejun's wife exposed an elaborate fraud. K-pop star victim of manipulation, Somin's fall from grace. Inside the mansion, Taejun watched the press conference on his phone, saw Ada standing beside Ji-won, presenting evidence, fighting for him even after he'd failed her. He called her. She didn't answer. He called again. Again. 20 times. Finally, she answered. What do you want? To thank you. To apologize. To beg you to come back. I didn't do this for you. I did it for truth. Ada, please. You chose safety over me, over us, over freedom. That's who you are. And I can't be with someone who doesn't know how to fight. I was wrong. I was a coward. You were right. But I'm done being a coward. I terminated my contract. All of it. Management, agency, everything. I'm free. Completely, terrifyingly free. And I'm choosing you. Finally. Properly. Please give me another chance. Silence on the line. So long he thought she'd hung up. Then, I'm at Yemi's. Apartment 402. If you want me, come get me. Don't send a car. Don't send flowers. Come yourself. Like a normal person. Like the man you're trying to become. I'm already on my way. He showed up 30 minutes later. Hair messy, no makeup, no designer clothes. Just him. Real and scared and hopeful. Ada opened the door. They stared at each other. I'm sorry, he said, for everything. For choosing wrong. For being too afraid. For not fighting hard enough. I'm sorry too, for leaving, for giving up, for not believing you could change. Can we start over? No, we can't erase what happened, but we can move forward. Different. Better, if you're willing to be brave. I'm willing to try. She kissed him, there on Yemi's doorstep, with neighbours watching and the world spinning and nothing certain except this moment. Come inside. We have a lot to figure out. Together? Together. 6 months later, they lived in a small apartment in Itaewon. No mansion, no staff, no performance. Taejun produced music independently. Small projects, honest work. Ada opened a small restaurant, Nigerian-Korean fusion. It was featured in magazines as Seoul's best kept secret. They weren't famous, weren't rich, weren't perfect. But they were free. And they were together. And they were real. Late one night, cooking together in their tiny kitchen, Taejun wrapped his arms around her waist. Happy? Terrifyingly happy. You? Same. It's scary how much better this is than everything I thought I wanted. No regrets. Only one, that I didn't choose you sooner. She turned in his arms, kissed him soft and sure. You chose me eventually. That's what matters. They finished cooking, ate together, laughed about his terrible chopping skills, argued about seasoning, cleaned up side by side. Later, lying in bed, Ada's phone buzzed. Message from unknown number. Congratulations on your restaurant and your happiness. You deserved better than my son. But I'm glad you found it. Taejun's father. She showed Taejun. He read it, deleted it. He doesn't get to be part of this. Our happiness isn't for his approval. Agreed. They fell asleep tangled together. Safe, real, free. And in the morning, they'd wake up and choose each other again. Because that's what love is. Not the grand gesture, not the perfect moment, just the daily decision to keep choosing, keep fighting, keep being brave enough to be real. This is their story. Messy, complicated, imperfect, human. And isn't that the most romantic thing of all? If this story moved you, leave a comment, share it, tell someone you love them. Choose bravely. Fight for real. And remember, broken people can build beautiful things. Together.